Mick Corrigan here from Action Coach, and today I'm delighted to introduce you all to Justine Bedford. Justine is the owner of the Royal Dyche pub in Burnley, a famous pub in Burnley, very closely linked to Burnley Football Club, which is my team. So I'm very honoured to speak to Justine today. Welcome to the Business Spotlight, Justine.
Thank you for asking me to come on.
So tell us about the Royal Dyche for those that don't know.
So the Royal Dyche wasn't always called the Royal Dyche. It used to be called the Princess Royal. I took on the pub when I was 21 years old. It was supposed to be a temporary move, just trying to save up a bit of money before I went off travelling after university. So I took on the lease for the Princess Royal in 2013. And it was, again, I signed, I thought it was going to be for a year. And then you kind of say you're going to do another year. And then I went travelling and kind of thought, I really want to run this pub. It's got so much potential. And then Burnley were doing really well at the time in 2017. I think we were fourth in the Premier League. And I just thought we were doing joke of the week. I thought we'd do something fun, something a bit creative. So I wrote on my chalkboard outside the Princess Royal, Sean, if you get us into Europe, we'll rename this pub the Dyche. Now, funnily enough, every football fan will know, going from November to May, it's a very, very long football season ahead. You could be going from fourth place to relegation in that period of time. Now, funny for me, Burnley were off fighting throughout the season, and we finished seventh that season because other various teams had won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. It opened up seventh spot for Europe, and we actually qualified. So with Sean Dyche's blessing at the Player of the Year Awards and a funny phone call with my landlord at the time, because I never owned the building, he gave me his blessing as long as I paid for the signage. And on the 1st of June 2018, we became the Royal Dyche. Now, the reason why I didn't call it was just the Dyche was because I found out that he had the same birthday as Henry VIII. So I thought we've got to keep this monarchy theme. And then we went for the Royal Dyche. And yeah, outside the pub now, you'll find a hanging sign that looks very uncanny to Henry VIII, but it's actually Sean Dyche's face photoshopped onto his body. And ever since then, it's a huge kind of global brand now, as you will. As you say, the famous Royal Dyche. When I changed the name, I knew it would be big in the town, but there's articles all over the world on Google, Ghana, India. I mean, news reached to the US, to Australia, and it was insane. Some of the journalists that we've had over from maybe France, Germany, Russia, it's been insane that everybody wants to know the story of the Royal Dyche.
Absolute masterstroke. It's brilliant. And for those that don't know, the hanging sign that you made reference to there is the same image as the one on your t-shirt there.
Yes, correct. So
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. Yeah. So well done. So what would you say are the clientele then at the Royal Dyche? Who are you attracting these days?
I'd say it's a very diverse clientele. Obviously, our target audience is over the age of 18, purely because we sell alcohol. We're a wet only pub. We do allow children in as long as they're supervised with an adult until 7 o'clock, and then we are over 18s only. Again, when we became the Royal Dash, I kind of found a brand and an identity. So it was all about being a sports pub. And I'm a huge Burnley fan as well. As soon as I were pretty much old enough to be in like Burnley clothes, whatever they had at the club shop, my grandparents would have me in claret and blue from the off. So I never really had a choice. I was going to be supporting my local team. I was going to be a Burnley fan. So I had a box of things in my attic, just collecting dust, Burnley shirts, scarves. So I kind of, when we became the Royal Dash, I put them up on the ceiling, and it kind of snowballed from there. Lots of Burnley fans, they're my biggest audience as well, because match days are our busiest days. Fans, friends wanted their memorabilia put up in the pub as well. It's covered from ceiling to wall, all behind the bar. The beer gardens are full of murals. And I pretty much now say with any football fan's dream, because we get football fans coming up from all up and down the country that they just want to come and visit the Royal Dyche because there's nothing quite like it. We've got a football terrace, like a small football terrace in one of our beer gardens with a football net and a grass area for kids to play football on a match day. And I'd say what it used to be was it was known for football violence and the racism riots in Burnley a long time ago. I think I was in primary school when this was happening. It was known kind of, it's always been a busy pub, but probably a pub that many would avoid. So I'd say me taking it over, it was all about changing that clientele. I wanted people to respect me, my staff, and respect the pub. And as long as you stuck to those key rules, you were more than welcome to drink there. It didn't matter what your background was, what sex you were, what your beliefs were. As long as you would respect the venue and respect the staff, you were more than welcome to come and have a drink there. So yeah, we're kind of transformed now into this award-winning, world-famous pub that, yeah, everybody wants to come and have a drink in.
Brilliant. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what about the future? You've achieved loads, obviously, but what does the future look like for you?
Yeah, so
Royal Dyche.
future-wise, I bought the pub in 2018. I was very grateful to get that opportunity from my landlord as well. That was the kind of the shackles coming off. I never wanted to take out any loans. I thought it was a big risk being in the hospitality industry, having loans tied to me as well. So each year I'd pick on a section of the pub that I felt needed either TLC or it needed, like, we ripped the toilets out and completely redid them as soon as I bought the pub. Bought the pub probably just before Christmas, and then in January that was kind of like the key works, and we're always targeting areas of improvement now. At the minute, I feel like the pub is almost at 100%. There's pretty much not anything else that I could develop or do. Again, it's just going to be TLC, but I have adopted a small stretch of the Leeds and Liverpool Canal on the Mile Straight, there's a little footpath at the side of the pub next to the cobbled road. So for me, it's not going to be commercial use, though. It's going to be like community projects, probably fruit and veg growing. Can we get a paddleboard, like step on, step off area there? Can we link with other areas and pubs around Burnley? And the Mile Straight is absolutely gorgeous. I don't think we utilise it as much as we should as a town. It's supposed to be one of the seven wonders of the Leeds and Liverpool Canal. So we've kind of adopted that stretch, and that's going to be my next project, is putting together a proposal to try and get some funding to develop that area. And again, pubs are changing. I feel like we're the pinnacle of the community, so we want to do as much community work as possible. So I feel like community is the main area that I want to grow. I feel like the pub's grown as much as it will from like an investment point of like developing it, but I feel we can be doing more in our community. We can link in more with businesses. And then awards wise, we're actually a finalist in the Lancashire Tourism Awards category for Best Pub. So I'm all about putting Burnley on the map, flying the flag for our town. I love our town. I feel like we have a very special business community and community spirit. We're a lot of hardworking people. And although we've got areas where we do need to improve or it does need a bit of TLC, I feel it's a very special town. There's none quite like ours. So as long as I can fly that flag for us, yeah, I'll be doing that as much as I can. I'm also an ambassador for the British Institute of Innkeeping. So I speak on a lot of conferences and a lot of panels. And again, I'm not just flying the flag for Burnley, but I'm flying the flag for all things pubs as well.
And women in business.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I do. Like we spoke about that previously. You don't realise who you're inspiring. Now, I spoke at Burnley College on Monday at the Burnley Means Business Seminar. Kyle Ellis from Ellis's Restaurant, he asked me to be a part of that because he's a lecturer there, and just trying to inspire 200 college kids as well. Because I remember I'm an ex-Burnley College student, and it's quite daunting at that age because you feel like you've got to have it figured out now. I've got a sports degree. I've got my FA level 1 and 2 in football, and just trying to inspire those kids and kind of say to them, you don't have it figured out. And kind of that's something I need to look into as a woman, that inspiring women in business, that it's kind of not, it's a rarity for a female landlady, probably of my age. I've been in the industry for 12 years. Been at this pub for 12 years. I'm only 33. So you kind of, sometimes you're in your little bubble. You kind of need to look out to that bubble. That's something I definitely need to look into, is like, inspiring women in business.
And what challenges do you see lying ahead, Justine?
I think the biggest one for pubs is support from the government. The British Institute of Innkeeping are running an Our Pub campaign where we're all trying to reach out and write to our local MPs, and where if anyone's watching that either drinks in a pub, runs a pub or works in a pub, just make sure that that your local MP is aware that local pubs, restaurants, they do need your help at the minute. Well, we feel like taxed out, and we're paying 20% VAT, which is huge in comparison to the other European countries as well. I think we're the second highest in Europe. I'm not sure who's ahead of us, but you have the horror stories of X amount of pubs shutting weekly, and this has been ongoing now since the pandemic. I feel like we had a bit of a boom once pubs did reopen, but since then, your energy bills are sky high, VAT sky high, taxes sky high. I have a new bill that increases yearly, which is frustrating, whether it's my gas, electric, water, Sky. I'm always on the phone trying to argue for better deals, whether it's my card reading or the music license that we have to pay for yearly. I feel like a lot of people don't realise the overheads that pubs have now, and I don't feel like they realise the difficulties that we face. You can't just walk into a pub. So when I walked into the pub at 21 years old, I thought I was going to make a ton of money for travelling. I didn't realise what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, we played Leeds on Saturday. I worked a 15-hour day because I need to put those hours in to get the rewards out. But yeah, so the biggest challenge for me is whether the government will listen to us. The budget comes out next month. They didn't listen to us last year. I think it was last year, year before, cheering for a penny off the pint because they reduced a bit of duty. But we don't always see that, the beer duty. The biggest one for me is going to be the business rates reform and the VAT.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
So
crossed.
we'll see.
So finally, Justine, what would you say has been the biggest learning that you've had on the journey?
I feel like every day is a school day. I mean, I've heard that saying so many times this week, and I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in that. You kind of learn something new every day. And when I come into this business, well, when I took on the lease at 21 years old, I was setting up a limited company 6 months later, meeting with an accountant. And the frustrating thing is for me that you don't learn these fundamentals at school. You don't learn about mortgages. You don't learn about tax and VAT. And I didn't have a clue about all these things. But I'd say the best thing for me is surrounding people with that are going to support you and help you grow as an individual. So surrounding myself with the right accountant, with the right financial advisor. I wish I'd discovered the British Institute of Innkeeping long before. I only discovered them when I applied for the Licensee of the Year award. They're probably the FA of the footballing world. That would be the BII of the hospitality industry. And I feel I've learned so much since I won that award and since I applied for that award. And it's all about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I mean, this week I've spoke to the Rotary Club of Burnley Pendleside, and I've spoke at Burnley College now. I feel like speaking about my story, I'm confident about it, but speaking in front of people, I get so nervous, public speaking. But I feel it's all about pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. And that's one of the things I've learned is it's healthy and it's always going to be beneficial for your business.
Justine, it's been fantastic speaking to you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, and wish you all the best. And obviously, up the Clarets.
And see you for a pint.